Is there
That's
something
nice.
funny we can do? Is there like a funny opener?
Like a podcast? I think that would be really funny if we did a podcast right now.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should do a podcast. I think it's a bad idea.
Welcome to episode 3 of the JaDS podcast. I'm Dom and this is Joe.
Yes, I'm Joe and this is Dom. Welcome to episode 4 of the JaDS podcast.
Don't ask where episode 3 went.
Yeah. What's up? How many numbers are there between 1 and 5?
Don't.
Okay.
Don't think about it. Okay.
How have you been, Dom?
I've been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have like a more grandiose set of words to fit in between fan and tastic. But I'm doing very good. Very busy. College has started.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm very busy. Perpetual chaos. College has also started.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
We could get them updated. We could get our viewers updated, or we could not. I think we just should just throw them into what's going on.
Okay.
What's going on?
Why don't you? Okay. What's going on?
What's going on?
Why don't you start? You start.
We are recording episode 4 of JaDS podcast. Okay, now you go.
Oh my god, I hate you. You're miserable. Okay. So here's a development.
Mm-hmm.
The devil has forced my hand, and I now own one of these. The reason that I bought it has since expired, which is that I was using it to work on a tech demo that I wanted hand tracking for, and that's literally the only reason I bought the Quest 2.
Yeah, for reference, Dominic took a Quest 2 off of his wall and showed it to the camera.
Yeah.
New Meta Facebook VR headset.
Yeah.
For $4 and privacy.
Yeah.
That's what it costs.
And it only cost me $300 and my soul.
So why did you end up getting a Quest?
So, working on this tech demo for a little project, I wanted to do hand gesture recognition to trigger spells being cast because that's cool. And if I want to cast a fireball, I should not point and hold the B button to cast fireball. I should go to cast fireball. Okay, and this requires a very surprisingly complex backend in order to make this happen. So,
and you wanted to test this on a Quest?
Yes. I threw myself at this maybe 4 times or 3 times, and then I went on a 4th. Realized I would have to do a lot of reworking, and then school started, and I didn't have time for any of this because I have other projects. So, like usual, working on something else now. That is on hold, but once August comes and passes, I will. There is significance to that. Without getting into detail, I'll talk more on that later. Maybe.
Okay.
I need to decide whether or not I want to talk more on that project. Why don't you go, Joe? How have you been?
I've been all right. For those that don't know, I have just begun my schooling at the University of SUNY Stony Brook. I'm a SUNY Stony Brook student. I just transferred. I also recently announced this information to the club of Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Video Game Club, who until like a week ago didn't technically know that I was no longer a Notre Dame student. So that was fun. I'm still doing Notre Dame Video Game Club currently. There's stuff going on. There's also something of cosmic proportions going on in that department, but we'll have to get to that.
Yeah, as per usual, Joe.
But yeah, like school is simultaneously not much, but also making me way more busy than ever before, you know? It's like nothing to motivate you to get stuff done when you don't have the time to do it, right? You know, like I find myself doing a lot of things that I told myself I'd do before classes started, right when classes started. And that goes even from like, you know, like doing like actual work or like working on stuff or like doing JaDS to like even some gaming stuff. Like I was doing a lot of like, I need to finish this game before school starts. I know that Legends Arceus just came out. A lot of people are talking about that. That's the gamer talk right now that released pretty recently.
Well, you played through Celeste, yeah?
Yeah, I finished playing through the entirety of Celeste, like maybe right before. I think I got it for like on Christmas sale, so like you know like a week after that, like right after New Year's, like I spent my January grinding through the entirety of Celeste and like losing my soul to like a puzzle, like a gamer difficulty puzzle platformer for no reason. And then I was like so Stellaris, right? 4X grand strategy title. I started boiling in my blood that I'd finish getting every achievement for the game before my classes started, and I did. And it was hell, and now I have like 115 achievements out of 115 achievements for Stellaris on Steam. This is now on my Steam homepage. I'm very proud of this. It cost me my soul as a human being, and this is a journey I started when I was in middle school or something.
Congratulations.
So. Yeah, but a lot of
it was funny because like before you got that last achievement, like we were literally like having a conversation about it the day before, where I was like, "Oh my god, this last achievement is bogus.
Yeah,
like it's impossible to obtain." And then he got it the next day.
Yeah, yeah, I really did.
I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" I thought that was like statistically like you had to have dream luck in order to get that done.
Yeah, it was kind of it was really, you know, I had to get like something stupid in a loot box, and I came up with this obscure way to get it. But anyway, so that was that. A little bit before that, you know, we New Year's was a fun time. It is 2022.
Did you notice, video viewers, the JaDS merch, by the way? That wasn't even planned. I just so happened to notice you sipping from your JaDS mug, so I decided to tilt down my JaDS hat.
Oh, yes. So
JaDS
merch.
The New Year, we got some JaDS merch.
Yeah, so this was actually Dominic's Christmas present. A really belated Christmas present.
Secret Santa. That we distributed at New Year's.
Yeah, I was you know, I was going through this whole thing. I dumped like $100 on like custom JaDS merch, and I got a friend like to do art for it and everything.
Yes, and thank you, Hope, for designing our JaDS merch.
Yeah, and I recorded.
I will probably make sure that you get properly credited in the description and everything.
Yes. It was a whole bunch of fun, and we got like a bunch of silly merch. We got that hat, I got this cup, I got like pins, and among other things. So I'll just really quick show this to the camera. Yes. So you know, that's just the logo. It's pretty obvious, and then on the back, oh yeah.
You know, I've started carrying the duck around as a good luck charm. Not in the sense that I believe it has any supernatural natural properties, but it's definitely been the catalyst for many unbelievable stories, and I like to use that funny little poetic string of words, as well as some confirmation bias to make me think that it's magical. I'm going to delude myself into believing that I possess some sort of artifact by the time I'm 30.
Yeah, Dom's trying to will this object into significance so that he can continue to tie his fate to the rubber duck.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. What should we be talking about now, Dominic?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Oh no, that was actually just me drinking. That wasn't a cue for a cut. We're keeping this in though.
Yeah.
I just needed a little bit of brain juice.
Yeah, well, I figured I might as well consume with you regardless of its intent. I didn't know for sure. I figured better to be safe.
That's all fine and dandy. What's the? Are we keeping track of
We're
the
even.
numbers, Joe? We're even. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
In
Yeah,
fact,
Joe and
up
I.
until don't explain. Up until
Okay.
up until up until a certain point, I actually didn't label which counter was which, so I just waited for them to hit to hit the same. Then I decided which one was which afterwards. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
I don't know. What do we usually do? I've already forgotten how to record a podcast.
Well, usually the first half is telling stories, and the latter half is the little, what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
Where we answer, or where we speak on topics.
Shall I go
Um,
first, or would you like to go
what
first?
for your storytelling? You have
Yeah,
a story to tell.
because
Yeah,
I've
go.
already teased something. I figured I might as well.
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you ask a question that you know will force me to tell my story?
Okay.
Yes.
Let me think of how I'm going to word this, because I think I know what
Joe,
you're trying to get me to.
Joe, what
Joe,
are you did you are you you said you transferred and you're still doing things with the
tell us
D.
about the Joe Gambit. Tell us about your 5-step plan to conquer the East Coast
Okay.
and beyond.
Okay. So, I'll begin this by saying, Notre Dame Video Game Club. Shout out to you fellas. This has inspired a lot of chaos in my soul. All right. The for those
Chicken sound
just
effect I just made.
just as a reminder, I've been doing a lot of like I've kind of been like posing as an officer in the Notre Dame Video Game Club, and basically like running the Discord server and online portion of the club and hosting weekly meetings as myself for I don't know, like the past year.
Year, yeah, it's a year.
Year almost. And like for the great majority of that time, I have actually not been at Notre Dame, and for the majority of that time, I haven't been a Notre Dame student, and for a good portion of that time, I was transferring into another school. And I've now started classes at a school on Long Island, and like have just still been doing this, and of course this is just funny, right? But I was unsatisfied by this, and I was like, there needs to be something better I could do. And I did all this scheming and all this planning, and I made I turned it into a manifesto in the form of a PowerPoint presentation, specifically on Google Sheets, which is like now for those of you who've never made a like PowerPoint or a sheet voluntarily of your own fruition for your own personal reasons, you're really missing out because it's honestly a magical experience.
Oh yeah, making just like shitty PowerPoints for fun is actually like become a tradition. Like
It's
that we actually
it's
do
quite
at gatherings.
because like you're just like you're the center of attention. You can just put whatever. It's very fun. It's I'm considering doing like PowerPoint night as just like a fun like thing for shits with your friends is like a valid way to spend your time. Honestly, I
mean,
think
I'm like putting together a PowerPoint presentation that I'm gonna like I'm gonna give a fucking TED talk when my wizard hits level 17 in my Curse of Strahd D&D campaign. It's
okay.
gonna be nuts. It's gonna be like 30 slides.
Mhm. So anyway, so I make this presentation and I present it to the officers of an EVGC in a meeting that I called them and I forced them to show up to. And then so we I show it to them, we talk about it, it like kind of gets recycled. We do it again, and I will now tell you where the plan is now. So, Joe, what are you talking about? What I'm so confused. Elaborate. Okay.
Joe, what are you talking about? I'm so confused.
So the plan revolves around a few things. One, I can't do what I'm doing anymore, but because I am not a Notre Dame student. So to provide a solution to this, I was like, I will merely just take the club and I will make it bigger and I will open it up to more than itself. And this ended up being like turning into a grand plan to make like a cross college, an inter college gaming community, like
The gaming club to end all gaming clubs.
yeah, the gamer alliance.
You really need a name for it.
Yeah, it's all tentative right now, but like that was the whole
That's true,
plan.
true.
I was originally going to just steal the Discord server for any VGC and use it as the groundwork for that. But it's since been decided that I'm going to it's going to be its own thing. It's anyway. So I'm long story short, I can't be in the club anymore. So to solve this problem, I'm making a club and putting myself at the top of it to continue doing my shenanigans. It's quite a mess really, because like I'm going to make it's really just based off the idea that I have friends that go to multiple schools, multiple colleges, and they all play the same games. And I'm tired of having them all be divided communities. So like for the vast amount of gaming, the vast portion of gaming stuff that is online, why not I'll just have it at one place? That's the idea, right?
And also to build a gnarly Minecraft SMP.
Right.
And then immediately change the direction of the JaDS channel to the JaDS Minecraft SMP. Where Joe and I create an empire to rule the world that we create.
Yeah. So the whole thing is kind of, I'm not gonna spend any long on it, because like that PowerPoint took me 30 minutes. It ended up taking me beyond a half an hour to present. But it was a 5-step plan. I do remember this, and it was the very powerful format of the 5-point plan as previously presented in American politics. Except these 5-point.
I love how step 5 was literally called the Joe Gambit. I fucking cracked up.
Yeah.
Because Joe ran it by me before he showed it to everyone else.
Yeah.
And it like you played like Wii Shop music in the background.
Yeah, I presented over the Wii Shop theme.
Like, the most fitting music ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was wonderful. If it wasn't a copyright concern, like I would suggest like that be your ambient background music whenever you speak on this show, Jesse.
Yeah, it was a pretty powerful thing, but yeah, it's the whole ordeal was kind of magical. I think the 5 points were: 1, the first point is this presentation, so the plan's already in motion, you can't say no. And like 2 was the presentation again, except to everyone, because they all have to agree, because everyone's going to be involved in this and they're not allowed to say no. And then like 3 was the actual beginning of the plan, where I like hit that make a community server button and just start having people pour in and building the Discord server framework. Step 4 was like completely separately me founding Stony Brook Gaming Club, because Stony Brook doesn't really have like a dedicated casual gaming club. Kind of similar to the situation that was in Notre Dame before the now president of the club and their friends like founded everything and put it together the way it is now. I was like, oh, I'll just do what they did, but again, I'll do it myself this time. Yeah, it's already been done. I just have to do it. I've already basically founded the club almost. I just need to do it again. I'm sure I can find somebody to anyway. And then step 5 is the Joe Gambit, which one, if the editor could just show that slide on the screen. This is like my favorite slide.
Did you just say the editor?
Yes.
Referring to yourself?
Yes, I did. I did say that. This slide is just the fact that I needed to make a slide that says this really just speaks to what goes on in my mind. It was just like it's terrifying, truly. It's a wonder. Anyway, so the Joe Gambit was basically just the involuntary integration of Stony Brook Gaming, the club that I planned on founding, into the intercollege gaming community that I also planned on founding. And they can't say no because I'm in charge of both. That was the idea. God. So, every slide was littered with like, and there will be no problems and this will all go smoothly and no one will have any issues with this. and it's a whole thing. So that's where that plan stands. I'll keep you updated as if I actually manage to pull it off. But right now, it's just a whole mess of like networking and stuff that I have to do because there were rules or something stupid like that. We don't like rules here, but
Yeah, they had to like fight with me to put rules on this Discord.
But yeah, it's just it was just a whole ordeal.
Right?
I find myself once again just like and then step 7, Joe will take over the world. Like this is always what happens.
Well, I don't know if we've ever spoken about this, but like in every one of like me and Joe's whichever like projects that we tend to do together, like JaDS or like we've had some rumblings about creating a game once in the past and then ultimately did not have the time for such a thing. In every roadmap, the final step is always like, we're going to be rich and famous, everybody will recognize us on sight, and the last one is always that Joe becomes president of the United States without fail.
Yeah, we were making a roadmap for like our most recent. I think our most recent expenditure is like preparing for the concert, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, and that roadmap also, I think, at some point was concluded with the final step being like Joe becomes president of the United States. I think you just put that in.
It's become my little in joke to like kind of like subtly mock the fact that you organize a coup on every single thing that's cooable. So yeah, about that concert.
Yeah, enough about the Joe Gambit. We'll keep you.
I'm talking about the Dom Gambit.
All right. What is the Dom Gambit? What are we talking about here?
Well, that's just the name I've tentatively given it as of 3 seconds ago.
Right.
4 and 5 and counting.
Right.
But basically, sum it up like this. Last year, we did a little thing at a online convention called DaysCon, which is a convention for the Kagura project. It's like an old Vocaloid, then turned light novel manga multimedia project from like 2012, right? Much bigger in Japan than it is in the West. So like in order to keep this like very old fan base alive, there's like a kind of like not necessarily informal, but definitely not official convention that is thrown once a year on August 15th, which is like the holiday of the respective series that I'm talking about. And since it's so intertied with music, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like play through all the songs on the drums, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just like do a panel. It's like, like I'm familiar and like friendly with the main organizer of the whole thing. So I'm like, oh, can I like do a panel? Like yeah, sure. What do you want to do? I'll apply. And it would have been too generic to just like sit down and do a drumming live stream. It's like, what if I did a concert? That would be mad sick. Do a concert. I'm like, okay, let me see if this is feasible. Yeah. This is a long story.
Yeah, right now Dominic's talking about the build up to something that happened a year ago.
Yeah. So
it ultimately concludes in me, Dom, and Co putting on a Kagura concert, very hastily put together with like a million things that went wrong, and the whole thing was on fire the entire time.
Yeah.
In multiple ways you can interpret that statement.
So the thing about that concert is that due to reasons, we don't have a bassist this year. We don't have a bass player. And it's like, fuck. And Danny, the event organizer, hi Danny, I'm going to name you because you make this public.
Hello Danny.
Hello Danny, if you're watching.
Danny officially endorses us.
Yeah, maybe like you could do like the opening ceremonies. That'd be cool. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have a bassist. Like I can kind of play bass, but I also like play the drums. So it's like, fuck. What is the most logical conclusion to make this concert happen where I could play the drums and also have a bass player. The answer was to move the entire concert into VR, make clones of myself, like where I would mocap myself playing the bass and then play the drums live, and then expand this to just have an entire like concert where I'm backed by my clones. And so our band, the Lukewarm Fellows, would consist of me, Joe, King Julian from Penguins of Madagascar, and our army of clones that will provide like mocap recordings of the instruments that we played but will not play live, and also
Yeah.
Koharu Rika in the reel. So
Okay,
there
so I
is
feel like this requires a little bit more of.
okay, fine,
I mean, like,
I'll elaborate.
well, just because. Okay, so basically, Dominic is the whole thing is just constantly ever spilling out of proportion because Dominic had it in his brain that he wants to like just like make V drumming into a reality for him.
Well, that was the first thing. I was like, well, I'll explain where this came from as well.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, I have a drum set. I can hook it up to my computer, play through my mic. Oh,
Mm.
this is wonderful. I can play the drums and like go around on VR chat and play the drums. The problem with playing the drums on VR chat is that the drums is not really a solo instrument. You kind of need the music behind you. And then at that rate, people can't even tell that I'm playing the drums because it just sounds like the music, but with slightly louder drums.
Yep.
So people like really would want to see what I'm doing. But like, how the hell do you do that, right? The answer is not easily. There's a lot of like hardware that I need to even DIY, like making like basically like VR gloves. You guys have maybe heard
Dom, I don't
of
think you specified that you're talking about how do you see that like in VR. I don't think you even specified.
Well, like basically I'm talking about making like primitive mocap designed for like real-time performance.
Yeah, Dominic wants a like video of a 3D model of an avatar of Dominic with virtual drums drumming along to music.
If this sounds suspiciously like a VTuber debut, that's because it essentially is.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have all these people from DaysCon be like, oh, this is the DaysCon concert, right? And I'm going to trick all of them. I'm timestamping this now. People who are like looking back historically, and this is like August 16th. Happy August 16th
Happy
after
August
August 15th.
16th, yes.
Hi, you've all been tricked into attending my VTuber debut.
Yeah, if you don't, well, what is a VTuber, Dominic? I feel like I need to ask.
Do I need to? Okay. You know what? Fine. I'll explain what a VTuber is because as of like an hour ago, my parents now know that I have a podcast and watch this. So, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dom Mom. Hi, Dom Dad. I'm very disappointed in your son.
No, so see, this is quite the task, Joe, because I feel like most VTubers like even struggle to explain like to their families who like what they do for a living.
Go
and where
look
all
up
this
what a
money comes
VTuber
from.
is. VTubing,
Okay,
the short answer is VTubing is anime people streaming. Except they're not really anime people. They're actually real people.
The Urban Dictionary definition says virtual YouTuber, a person that streams and uploads videos to YouTube using mostly an anime avatar following their movements in real time.
Yeah,
Basically,
the V stands for virtual, and the tuber stands for like YouTuber, but it doesn't necessarily need to be through YouTube. VTubing is weird. Dominic is going to be a virtual drummer. He's got me along for the ride, you know. I'm gonna be
dragging Joe and my cousin by their ears respectively, and I'm going to see how far I can take this. It's requiring a ton of work. I'm already in crunch mode, and this concert isn't happening for 6 months. Like
yeah.
I mentioned the Lucid VR gloves. If you guys don't know Lucas, the guy behind Lucid VR, he's out there making like basically, you know, normally VR gloves are like thousands of dollars. He's like, dude, like $50 ish. Here's some like STL files that you can 3D print.
Yeah.
And here's a list of parts, and you got gloves.
Yeah,
like,
that was super cool. You know, because like this guy is basically. Because if you want VR gloves, anything beyond controllers, if you want like haptic gloves or something like that, it's to like, there are no consumer grade ones that you could just buy.
Right,
but this guy comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna design these gloves open source and like make the CAD files for the 3D printing and like the
And
entire
the drivers too. They
the
made
drivers,
drivers,
the
and those are
whole
also open source. So that's the
yeah.
thing, right? These drivers are open source, so he encourages, like, hey, those of you who want to make your own glove designs,
Yeah, if
go
you're
do
willing
it,
if you're
right?
willing to go through the like hand, step-by-step process of building them as laid out online, like you could just do it. Very very
Mhm.
like very like internet power of internet moment, really, that one. I
Yeah.
think that's super
Well,
cool.
so that's the thing, though. So there are some limitations with the official like prototype V3 design, which is the one that I would look at. It
Yeah.
doesn't have the haptic feedback. In this case, what I'm referring to, force feedback, is the idea that there are like strings with like these kind of weak servos on them that
Mhm.
when you touch an object in VR, the strings pull your hands back so that way it simulates touch, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean
really
you
cool.
could look into it online if you're
You don't
really
need that.
interested.
But the reason that I'm elaborating here is because
You don't need
the
that.
design of the V3 doesn't work for me for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's very bulky, and think of what's going to be happening with these gloves. They're going to be on either my hand or Joe's hand, and be drumming, playing the guitar, doing octaves on a piano. Like, you want as little weight as possible. You don't want things to be moving around. It needs to be
Yeah.
very secure
And
in the
also, if you're
hand.
trying to track physical interaction with a real world object, like an instrument, force
Right.
feedback is to simulate it if it's not there. If
Right,
you
right.
really have it, that's redundant. You don't want force
Well,
feedback.
the V4 design is the one that has the force
Okay.
feedback. V3 doesn't.
Mhm.
So the much bigger problem is that like all these gloves, very simply, all these gloves track is like the curl of your fingers. That's what the index knuckles do as well. If you're familiar with those controllers, they don't track the splay of your fingers, which is
Yeah.
like how far apart they are horizontally from each other.
Yeah, and
Um,
if we're trying to
because it's
capture the digital act of like
yeah, it's
playing
harder
the
to implement,
piano, for
and
instance, that's
yeah.
not because we want to. It's so funny because we're trying to capture not just music, but the art of performing it. You know what I mean? And how you
Well,
interact
more
with instruments.
importantly, it's not just like, oh, Dom, these are like minute details. You don't need to worry about these. Nobody's going to see what Joe's hands are doing. Joe's going to see what Joe's hands are doing.
Yeah.
If Joe's hands are not synced properly and it looks like he's hitting different notes, that's going to impact Joe's performance. So the
Yeah.
tracking does actually need to be very
Yeah. So
precise.
I mean, well,
Um,
you'll hear more about this in the future,
mhm,
depending on how this goes. But
mhm.
it's a whole ordeal that we're
Yeah,
trying to
so
set up
basically
in
I
a
have to make
very
my own design that does splay.
yeah,
This
because
is like a big
yeah, right
obstacle.
now we're working on all these like technical solutions. We're also trying to
Mhm,
simultaneously arrange music, like once again create custom arrangements for this to be
yeah.
performed in this very unique situation.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Um,
don't want to
None
set
of which
too
we're
many
really that
standards.
qualified to do, mind you. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna learn. I don't want to set too many standards because, like, I don't want to have a Hello Games moment where I say things that are going to happen, and then like we don't get to those because of time
Yeah.
constraints or whatever
Speaking of
constraints.
time
Because it's like,
constraints,
yeah,
the numbers are 7-2.
I figured.
Yeah, that's not a that's never mind. um, but yeah, I don't know. That
Mhm,
I think it's gonna be super interesting when it happens because we're just trying to do something very unique. Um,
mhm.
yeah, but
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see.
yeah,
Right now it's kind of just like a focus on like there's a lot of stuff that we're waiting on, certain features like being able to play over long distances without like ideally done like I stay here and Joe stays where he is and we just play together. There is actually software to make this happen without latency. It's called FarPlay.
yeah,
Check it out. It only supports 2 people right now, but the dev is working on making it multiple people, and hopefully that will happen before August, or where maybe I have to get a degree in
yeah,
jack a trip to do
yeah.
it manually.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, what right? We're pulling up on what would be intermission now. In
okay.
fact, I think we're already there. Um,
Mhm. See you in a bit.
yeah, yeah. Well, words. Heyo, it's future and editor Joe here. Hi, it's been a while. Sorry about that. I'm actually here to remind you that today's episode is sponsored by that like and sub button, as well as share will, but especially that notification bell because we're committing to weekly uploads now. That's right, no more like goals. We're here for the long haul, whatever that means. And that's it. Keep an ear out for me in the next episode because I'm ending these at the same time. And otherwise, take a break, stay hydrated, don't forget to feed your lizard, and enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye-bye. Hello, Dominic. Whose turn to record the intermission was that? Mine. Yours. Someone's. Anyway.
I think it was yours.
So we've just decided, and by we I mean me, that every week we are going to do something. We're going to surprise each other with what we do immediately after intermission every week. Just I don't need to justify this. I'm going first.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing today for like maybe a little over 5 minutes post intermission is we're going to be doing a tier list. Dominic.
oh, this is marvelous. This is going to take up the rest of the episode, I feel. We did this a while back.
But we have to do it.
Join the Discord.
It's a bonus exercise, Dom. So we can't spend too long on it. All right, we're speed running this now.
We have to have a tier list episode though, because we did have like an off-camera tier list making session, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So, surprise, we're doing a tier list right now.
Yep.
Dominic, bacon is S tier, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Not because it's. I would be willing to accept that it's overrated, but it's overrated for a reason, and that reason's keeping it in S tier. Okay.
Yeah. I think bacon on its own should not be an S tier, but so long as it's like combined with something and you're not just like shoveling bacon into your mouth, like we can be friends.
Yeah, you see,
People who shovel bacon into their mouth would probably scare me, actually.
Yeah. You see, the believe it or not, this was actually a trick just to mention the fact that I ate the best sandwich of my life today, and half of it was it was like a breakfast sandwich, but half of it was leftovers from like a steak dinner the night before. And like I fried the whole thing up. It was like, it was like leftover steak, like baked potatoes, and I actually think that was all the leftover component to it. But I took that, cut up some mushrooms. I'm a mushroom enjoyer. Nice. Don't take that out of context.
Respectable choice.
And fried it all, like made bacon. Okay. Then I like sauteed all of what I previously mentioned in bacon grease, and then fried 2 eggs in that. Took the whole thing to the side, buttered 2 pieces of sour bread, put them on that same pan and toasted them on that pan. Slapped the whole thing on the bun, got a massive like kale leaf, put it on top, put the bacon back on, put the top bun,
Why
top
the
bread.
kale leaf? Are you trying to trick yourself into thinking that's healthy?
I didn't have lettuce. That's literally the only reason.
Oh wow, okay.
And then I ate the whole thing as was, and it was probably the best sandwich I've ever eaten in my whole life.
That
anyway,
sounds about as involved as the JaDS burger. What is the JaDS burger? Don't ask. It's a part of our mythos.
So bacon, bagels. What are your thoughts on bagels?
Depends what kind of bagels.
Beef or bagels?
Depends what kind of bagels, Joseph.
That's a plain bagel, but I
bagels-
think it's a heralder of all bagels. I mean, this is a tier list. We gotta.
Okay, if it's a heralder of all bagels, then it belongs in A tier because everything bagels are included in all bagels. And
Okay.
Everything bagels are.
We have to go faster through this. Speed running.
Cake?
What is this? Pound cake? I thought it looked kind of like banana bread.
Oh, maybe banana bread. Banana bread's good. I'd say that's
Beef or bread or
low A
beef or
tier.
banana bread?
Fine.
Bun. I mean,
Those are biscuits. Those
biscuits.
go in S. Do not say beef or biscuits. S tier.
Okay, as for biscuits. Egg. Wait. Okay, these are specifically boiled eggs. Boiled eggs are C. Boiled eggs are like really good. Boiled eggs are good. If I can knock them up to B tier because I've been surviving off of them. I've been surviving off of them to like eat something really quick before I go into school because we just like boil some the night before and they're just in the fridge and I just like shove 3 or 4 or 5 down my throat right before I run out.
Yeah.
They are they are probably the most efficient way, maybe not the most enjoyable way, but the most efficient way to consume eggs. Apart from the
For
fact
me,
that
yes,
like
I've already given my
yeah.
shtick on eggs.
This is a breakfast burrito. Breakfast burrito is my favorite food of all time, I think. So that's
Okay, I
going
haven't
there.
had a breakfast burrito, so I can't disagree. But okay,
Cheerios. C for
I think it's meant to
Cheerios.
represent cereal in general. Oh no, because there's cinnamon toast crunch.
Wait, there's literally only
Um,
two cereal. Okay, this is going to be the heralder of all cereal, and this is going to be specifically cinnamon toast crunch.
Okay.
C for cereal.
Okay.
Wait.
C for cinnamon toast crunch, but higher than cereal.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Okay, we won't jump around.
Wait,
Okay.
what is that syrup?
That is dog shit on a waffle.
Is
What
that
the
ice
fuck is
cream?
that? Ice cream on a waffle?
Yeah, because that's normal
that's not
waffle.
breakfast.
That's a normal waffle, so that's an ice cream waffle. Ice
It's
cream
not
waffle.
breakfast, but that's very good.
Ice cream waffle goes in S tier.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Especially because this is actually a core memory of mine. When I was very young, one of my first like figuring out how to argue moments, like this is what would eventually lead me to run debate club in high school, was I asked my dad. I was like, "Hey dad, can we have breakfast for dinner hypothetically?" And he was like, "Yeah, we do that sometimes." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but like can we have waffles for breakfast for dinner?" And he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we can do that if you really want. We'll make Belgian waffles." And I was like, "Okay, can we have ice cream for dessert after breakfast dinner?" And he's like, and then I'm like, "Can we have ice cream waffles for dinner?" And I spit all these facts and logic to him. And I was like 7 years old, and I was like, "Oh man, if he says yes." And he said yes. He let me. Honestly, he's like, "Well, I mean," and like my mom gave us a funny look, and he's like, "Well, he's not wrong. I mean, like, what's the difference?" and I was like, "Yeah, ice cream for dinner." So that's like a core memory of mine. So ice cream waffles will have to stay in S tier, even if it's
Okay,
like.
but I do
really
think that
food.
bacon should be behind biscuits.
Okay, sure. Biscuits is one of the things that we've agreed in the past is maybe not like the best breakfast, but the best breakfast definitely has biscuits in it.
100%.
Cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll.
This is not breakfast either. We'll put it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
in-
say low A.
Okay, sure.
Cinnamon rolls taste very good. You just have a sweet tooth, but are very messy.
Yeah, I don't really have a sweet tooth either, so I just kind of like eat a bite and I'm like, and then I forget about it. What is this? I can't tell. Is this
That's a
cake?
Crumb cake.
Crumb cake.
It's cake.
A coffee cake, maybe?
Yeah. I'd say C.
I'll
Like
put it in the
middle
bottom.
C.
I'll put it in the. That's probably worse than cereal.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'll put it like here. I mean, like
Yeah,
if it
I'd
was
put it-
if you were gifted this, like in a work setting, you get into work late, and like there's just this sitting on a table for you, that might like hit really hard. So this has high satisfaction potential, even though it's not really a great breakfast. What is this? Are these?
That's crack cocaine. Or powdered sugar or flour.
I was going to say, are those egg whites, but okay. I don't know.
Crack cocaine goes in E tier. That shit tastes disgusting.
Yeah. Is this the harbinger of French toast? French toast goes to the top of A, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
In fact, no.
French toast is very
Bottom
good.
of S.
Okay.
I'm a waffles
But,
is
like,
better
there's
than
a-
French toast is
That's like
better
a thin
than
French toast though, because there's like French toast later. See after English muffins.
Where is it?
Top row. Okay, well let's just keep going. What is? Okay, but what is that?
C tier. This
Okay.
is
Turnover? Is that an apple turnover or is that a croissant? No, that's a croissant.
This is a breakfast croissant. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that at the top of A tier.
Okay.
That's pretty.
That's an apple turnover next though.
I've never even had an apple turnover.
That's an S tier. That's an S tier breakfast.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
As you all know, I am not a fruit person. And as we've been
Okay.
over in the past, if you ask me what do you mean you're not a fruit person, I will say I don't eat fruits. And
Well,
I
Joe, I'm
will,
gonna ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you like apple pie?
no.
Oh. What's wrong with you?
Because it has apples in it. I don't really like apples. I'll
Oh
go.
my God, I'm ending our podcast. We're gonna be friends.
I've been over this in the past, so
I know, but I
I
didn't realize
don't-
that also extended to discriminating against apple pie and its types of pies.
so really I
Do you
don't.
not like any type of pie?
I like non-fruit pie. I'll eat pumpkin pie, and I like um I like pudding pie, but I don't really like
How
fruit
do you
pie
eat
because I
pumpkin
don't really
pie, but
like
not
fruit.
apple pie.
Because a pumpkin is not a fruit. And you
hate
might be like,
this.
Joe, you're very technical, aren't you? I'm like, no, actually, that's not it at all. You see, from a very young age, I decided I didn't like fruit, and I have tried fruit after proclaiming this. I promise, various fruits. But this has led me down my life to just proclaiming. You know how like what's a fruit and what's the vegetable in common vernacular and scientifically are just two different things.
Yeah.
My vernacular for what is and isn't a fruit is a hard line between will I eat it and will I not. If I eat it, it is not a fruit, and if I won't eat it, it is a fruit. And this is where I draw the line. So for instance, I eat like citrus. Okay, so citrus fruits are the only things I will admit that are fruits that I eat, which are basically just like lemons and oranges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And bananas occasionally. But other than that, I do not. If I eat it, it is not fruit. Because I do not like fruit.
Okay, fine.
So I don't know. I'm putting that apple tart over there for you, Dominic, because I can't. I can't.
The
Attest.
same way that we put the burgers.
These are donuts. Shut up.
Donuts
are
no,
donuts.
Donuts
are not
are
breakfast.
fantastic.
Donuts are not breakfast.
Inherently breakfast.
They're not breakfast.
Okay, yeah, but like
they're also
was
like they're nice, but they're also like not the best dessert either. Like they're just kind of. They're fun, but they're not great.
I'm not talking about like yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is like cool and all, but like I mean like a good donut, like
English
a homemade
muffins, A tier. Love English
Go on
muffins.
to English muffins while I'm advocating for donuts.
We're running out of time.
Oh my God. Okay,
this is
French toast too.
This is French toast. This is real French toast. This goes in A.
That's real French
S-tier.
toast. That goes in S tier.
Yeah. I wouldn't have mine with fruits on it, but I am also a French toast enthusiast. Do a little bit of that.
I agree.
Is this a no, that's a quiche. What is this?
It looks like D tier.
Nah, I agree. D tier. Top of
It
D
looks
tier.
like eggs and
No,
cilantro.
it's not a quiche. This is a quiche. Chat's telling me that's a quiche. This is a quiche. That's a quiche.
I don't know what a quiche is.
A quiche? You don't know what a quiche is?
No, I just said that.
You think I discriminate against pie? That's egg pie.
It's egg pie.
Open
Well,
omelets?
I don't like eggs, so fuck you. I don't want a quiche.
Open
well, I do
omelets?
like eggs. I just don't.
I don't know what this
Maybe it's
is.
an omelet.
This is obscure. It goes in the middle of C tier. Is this oatmeal? Because if it's oatmeal, it goes in S tier. I need this shit to survive. End of question.
Those are hash browns. Those go top of A.
Sure. A muffin?
Muffin. I was gonna say
B for bread tier.
Okay, sure.
Oh wait, no, this is collective cereal. All right, so we'll shove that where we originally said collective cereal goes.
Yeah, and Cheerios goes behind it.
Yeah, Cheerios are okay, but they're not actually like fantastically nutritious. They're just kind of like if you need somebody, eat Cheerios. I'm more of a mini wheats person for the niche Cheerios fills, but they're fine. These are grits. Well, there's no oatmeal here though. Why would this ranking have grits and not oatmeal? I'm keeping. Okay, well, if they're grits, they go here. Omelet.
That's an omelet.
Top of A
It's
tier.
It's a flat omelet.
Well, this omelet is not top of A tier, but the omelets I make are top of A tier. I'm an omelet enthusiast.
Okay.
This looks like a good stack of pancakes, but pancakes are A tier. Like.
Okay, pancakes do not go ahead of hash browns though.
I'll put them all the way down here. Like pancakes. Like this looks really appetizing, but like without syrup, you know, like you're literally just eating like bread discs. It's like so like by them.
I think that the pancakes go like ahead of croissants though. Like I mean, I make homemade pancakes when I make pancakes, and I put chocolate chips in my pancakes. That's good. Also, I would never have pancakes without syrup.
Pop-Tarts deserves its own tier. I'm just gonna put them next to donuts. I don't actually think they're A tier though. I think if you're eating a Pop-Tart for breakfast, you're not in a great place. But also, I've been there.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Protein bar. B for emergency.
No, E for emergency. Same exact logic as the Pop-Tarts.
No, but these are like nutritious. Like if you're desperate,
Okay.
this is the
Okay.
this is the satisfy you option. This is the satisfy your functional needs option.
Okay, yeah, but it's all like chemicals though still. So it's
Yeah, but like
okay.
there are good
There's
there
a
are good
short-term satisfaction.
there are good nutrient bars that are like if you're a weightlifter, you got to ingest a shit ton of these things to like maintain your
fine.
calories.
Then okay, yeah. So as long as they're behind like the boiled eggs, and that works for me.
Quiches are kind of exquisite. I'm gonna
Is
put
that
them in
so?
the middle of A tier, just
Okay.
because like there's so many ways to prepare eggs, and this is never the one that comes to mind. So like when it happens, it's a pleasant experience. Plus, it's fun for me, someone who doesn't actually have the opportunity to eat many pies because I'm not a fruit enjoyer. This is just another type of pie that I get to eat. So, egg
Is that
McMuffin.
supposed to represent egg McMuffin?
No, I'm saying this is an egg McMuffin. I'm gonna put them in S tier.
I was gonna say let's just let that represent egg sandwiches.
No, this is an egg McMuffin. It goes in S tier.
Okay.
Egg McMuffins are like, I hate McDonald's and I don't eat fast food at all, but like these are a staple of American society, and even I
I've
will
never
admit
had
this.
one.
An egg
Never had one.
an egg McMuffin is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think I've
Egg
made
McMuffins
one
are an S
accidentally
tier for the
before.
same reason that English muffins are an A tier.
Okay.
Sausages.
with that.
I'm not a huge sausage person.
Me neither. I'm gonna say C tier.
C.
I'm
They're probably my
pissing
least
people
favorite.
off.
They're my least favorite meat of the breakfasts.
Yeah.
Not because they're ill-fitting, but just because, like, I don't know, too spicy for my baby tongue or something.
I'm just not a big fan of sausage in general.
Yeah,
That's
likewise.
a smoothie.
You eat a lot of
That's
these.
nice. I literally have yogurt and granola
Where?
for lunch every
Where?
day. I'm gonna say A tier. A tier is getting oversaturated though.
Well, a lot of breakfast is an A tier.
Yeah. Yes. That's burnt toast though. I like my toast lightly toasted. Okay. No, do not put beans on bread in S tier.
All right, we're done. Yeah. Well, that was today's post intermission activity. Let us know if you have another one of these to recommend. I figured it might be entertaining. So
Yeah.
also
going. I haven't been looking at it.
Also, the one of the reasons that I laughed when I was coming up with this is Dom started playing Super Auto Pets, and this is now at the top of the homepage for Tier Maker. Is the Super Auto Pets list? Oh, it's a video. It's a video. This is a video.
It's Ludwig VODs.
Yeah, Super Auto Pets is a cheeky little game. It's technically a roguelike, and therefore I like it. It's also free, therefore everybody likes it. We like free things here in the global community.
Okay.
So
I have a random topic generator in front of me because I like the random topic generator because people will tend to suggest good topics, but that is not the point of JaDS. The point of JaDS is that we can talk about anything, and usually that involves rambling for hours about very frivolous things.
All right, let's knock as many out as we can humanly do.
Which app seemed like magic the first time you used it, Joe?
Apps?
App.
Like smartphone application?
Like phone app. I think I know mine, actually.
Seemed like magic the first time that I used it?
Seemed like magic. I'll give my example. So when I had my first iPod, I had an app that was like a glass of milk. Not in that it displayed a glass of milk, but in that the contents of the phone was like basically a fluid simulation and it had milk in it. And like there was like it indicated this was the top of the cup, and if you poured it out, it would pour milk out of the cup. It's like, oh, I'm drinking milk. I was like, holy shit, where's the milk going? I was like 7. This was mind blowing.
I think mine would probably be, I also was like, whoa, I can have games in my pocket. I probably went through that. It's very vague in my memory now. It seems like a million parallel universes across. But I definitely, like, when I was very young and I like got my iPod and I don't know what my first game was, but I definitely remember, like, you know, just like, let's say I was just playing anything, like I can't name an example, but I'll just say like Angry Birds. I pull out, play Angry Birds. I'm like, I can play video games on the toilet. This is amazing. And I'm an adult, and I still feel this way.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Oh, you know what? Too honorable mention in my adult life. Maybe not my adult life, but like in high school, when I realized that I could just like install an emulator on my smartphone, that was a pretty magical experience. I was like, this can be a Game Boy too, like kind of epic. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I remember that felt nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, next topic. Next
topic. I'm looking. There's like different categories. There's like topics for essays, business, couples.
Couples.
Okay, couples. How was your day, dear?
My day is going fantastic, dear.
We already had this conversation. That was the first half of the podcast.
Yeah, well, you know what though? It's worth mentioning. I recently like realized that I don't need to commute to school on Tuesdays because I can just like the one class I had in person was not mandatory, and the second class is online. So I'm feeling pretty good because I feel like I just slept in today and like half took the day off. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, dear.
Yes, you're welcome.
Funny conversation
really
starters.
Personal. Like I just scrolled past one that was like, what secrets have you been keeping? This one might be fun. Joe, this is an apocalypse like XK class scenario where the JaDS podcast ends. If today is my last day on Earth, what do we do?
Oh,
my last day.
Your last day or
my last day?
Specific. So you're terminally ill and about to die.
Yeah, like I have just like suddenly like gotten like the heebie-jeebies and it's going to kill me.
I would probably grieve, and then I would probably ask you what you planned on doing and help you. Because this is not my choice to decide.
Well, that's boring as fuck, Joe. What's gonna happen to the JaDS podcast? Should we like
Dominic? Don't ask me what I would do if you were about to die. I would ask you what I should do if you were about to die. That's what I would do. I would
say we're recording like a 5-hour special.
You know what? Actually, that's not even a bad idea. Like if you knew you were about to go out, I was like, I need to like leave my mark, and I would just like turn on a camera and not turn it off until after I've already been deceased, right? I'd be like, Dominic, we're gonna record all of your last moments, as candid or as non-candid as they are, and we're going to simultaneously try and tick minute things off your bucket list while you pour all of your worldviews and global theories and legacies into a recording that we can consistently reference for after you're gone, and I can guilt everyone into doing the things that you tell them to do.
We're gonna make an 8-hour recording of me just saying things over and over again to use as training data for the neural network that will be built to replicate my body.
I would spend okay. That was a question.
Actually, that's a good one. Actually, what's an item on your bucket list, Joe?
I actually explicitly have a bucket list. I just haven't looked at it in a little bit.
Okay.
Like I keep one in my phone notes, just in.
I know an item on your bucket list. I put it on your bucket list. Joe has to review all of the Applebee's on Long Island before he dies.
Yeah, that
this is a contract.
Yeah, let me know if you wanna if you wanna go out to eat at Applebee's, because apparently I'm cosmically demanded to do this. I don't even really like Applebee's that much. This is just something I'm supposed to do.
Apparently you don't like apples, and this is very bothersome.
I like bees more than I like apples.
That says something. That's actually someone in chat made a very good point, Joe. If it was like if today was my last day on Earth, we would have to accelerate the Machu Picchu adventure. we would leave effective immediately to Machu Picchu.
I don't think we would make it. I don't know.
I think we would bend space time to make it, and that's why Machu Picchu is going to be such a fucking adventure, Joe. I'm going to push this narrative until something cosmically funny happens.
I think that. Well. But what's something on your bucket list?
Let me think.
I got all the usual things. Like, there's a list of things I want to achieve that are kind of by proxy my bucket list. Like all the things I want to do. Like I want to make a game and like publish a song and make a YouTube video. Hello, bucket list item achieved. But like,
well, I guess
that's not
one
like
that I
that's
already
not the good
checked
answer.
off.
That's not a good answer. You're looking for like learn another language, skydive, commit a felony. I don't know. Like,
I mean, the one that we checked off last year was to throw a Vocaloid concert, or like at least there was like an
True.
item on my bucket list for a long time was like vaguely have some form of participation with the idea of a Vocaloid concert, and throwing one was not what I expected to do, but I was like, oh, this is cool. And do a well, also wasn't Vocaloid, it was synth-V, where we believe in
Start a
synth-V.
secret society is on my bucket list.
Is it? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wait, do I have a bucket
This is
list?
a
Let me check
really
my
old. This is like a 3-year-old document, but I just opened it up.
Let me see. Do I have
Uh,
a bucket list? I remember having to write up a bucket list.
I would like to win a
Um,
video game tournament for money one day. I don't play any games competitively yet, but that's on my bucket list. I think that'd be
do
neat.
the exposure. I opened up Google Docs. It's in light mode.
Dude, go into dark
I'm
mode.
standing in front of the
heathen.
sun. Okay.
If you what is the weirdest gift you've ever gotten in your life?
Oh god.
Is it the JaDS merch? Is it
Conceptually, it's really weird that I have merch for my podcast that I'm on episode 4 of.
if
I
you
feel like if I thought, I'd definitely come upon something weirder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of weird gifts this year. I got like for this Christmas season, like I got a steel drum.
That's good.
I'm like writhing from the fact that I am a steel drum owner. Like I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be a steel drum owner. Oh, I also got a guitar. It's in the back. Maybe I'll
You got
show
a
it
lot
off
of musical
next
instruments.
episode.
For my gift for Joe's Secret Santa was a limited edition Hatsune Miku automaton.
Oh, I'll have to show that off
Which-
next episode. It's in its case right now.
That was like there was originally a much like broader plan regarding the presentation of that gift that involved me breaking into Joe's backyard at like discrete hours and like plugging a amplifier into the power strip that's somewhere out there, I assume, and like blasting World Is Mine automaton.
If you were
cover
to
from his
work in a
backyard.
circus, what would you be working as?
Oh my god, I'm like so prepared to answer this question and so not prepared to answer this question. Piece of Dom lore. I attended clown school. This is not a drill. When I was in 7th grade, went to a summer camp that had a circus arts program, and out of everyone on the camp, I was like the only one that went there, and I was there religiously. That's a story for another day because it's part of like
Yeah.
a 4-part like octopus transformation. It's a long story.
Okay.
But yeah, know that I went to clown school and it is the root of all my wisdoms and motivations. Every story traces back to clown school. That said, I spun plates. I did the Chinese yo-yo very well, but really what I like just had started to do but didn't finish was I did learn a little bit of the unicycle, which was very cool. I feel like I would make a mad unicyclist. Or like maybe they'd do like
Dominic would be the clown. Dominic's a clown.
I'd be the clown.
That was a clown. I spun the place. I was a plate spinner in the 5th grade circus. I don't know. You know, actually, what would be kind of fun if there was like, you know how some circus performances like have a narrator or host. I'd like to be the guy that's like that, like.
The Ringling Brother.
Yeah, welcome to the. Yeah, I'd like to be that guy. I feel like that guy has a good time, and he also doesn't do anything.
If you could have any animals as a pet, what would you choose?
Real or non-real?
We'll do 2 categories. Real first.
Dog. I have 2 of them.
Okay. Wait. Are you gonna say that you have a non-real animal as a pet next?
Yes.
This is my imaginary pet. His name is the Lovecraftian monstrosity that lives in my closet.
No. I was waiting for you to answer the question.
Okay. If I could have any animals as a pet, I know exactly what they are. They are a raccoon and a snake. Their names are Duke and Bartender, respectively. Next question. What would your non-real animal as a pet?
Dragon. Who would say anything other than that?
Dragons, it's cool though.
Dragons are half defined by being a cool nonfiction creature. Dragons are cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I've come to the conclusion a while back that dogs are just dragons, but like logistically not logistically viable. I've come to this conclusion.
Yeah, but like dragons are like smarter than humans. At least my understanding of dragons is that they're like very intelligent. You can't like have a intelligent creature as a pet. That's like slavery.
Okay, but like on the low end of a dragon, like if you were the owner of a wormling, it would be much like owning a dog. Like
Okay,
it'd
that's
probably have
true.
the same level of intelligence, except it wouldn't fly, which is, other than being cool, in actuality would probably be a logistical nightmare as a pet owner to have your like intelligent free roaming pet just being able to fly. That'd probably be a problem. And
Yeah.
also like they would have fur and not scales and therefore be pleasant to touch and interact and cuddle with. Um,
Okay.
and they would be less destructive and probably not have
Mhm.
the ability to breathe fire.
Mhm.
If we were to domesticate dragons, like ultimately roundabouts, the best case scenario is just dogs. If you really want to like think about it, this is a conclusion I've
Okay.
come to, and it's made me appreciate my dogs a lot more.
My dogs are dragons. Check them out. Look at them go
Yeah,
and breathe
yeah.
fire.
There's a dragon
Yeah,
on
but
my
by that logic, I
microphone.
agree with you. I
I've only
can't come
recently
up
come
with.
up with this theory, by the way.
I am, despite my odd answer, very much a cat person though. And if I had to choose a fictional animal to have as a pet, I would choose a tressum. For those of you who don't know, tressums are winged cats from Dungeons and Dragons. Uh,
I didn't know you were a cat person. You're a dog
yeah,
owner.
I am a dog owner, but I do also like cats.
All conversation starters with a guy. How was your
Okay.
day?
We already did this one.
Yeah, but it's with a guy, not it's with a guy.
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Yo, I'm I can't. I am not. Uh, Also, by the way, this list is really funny because conversation starters with a guy. The first one is how was your day? The second one is ask about their dreams. And then the third one is hypothetical magic powers. So it
Okay.
ascends really quickly. But this website is
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Like I went into the deep conversation topic section. It just
Mhm.
starts off with "What are your fears?" and I was like, "Whoa, these are
Yeah.
really."
Well, I passed one of those in the essays section. Like, what's your weirdest fear? Um, though,
I'm afraid of
what's it?
Dominic. That is my number one
I'm
fear.
sorry. I'm afraid of Joe, actually. We don't cope well with each other. This is why we're on Discord. It's actually all cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, I was about to say this is actually a therapeutic process recommended by our
Yeah.
mutual therapist.
So
Um,
this one is quite funny.
and this will probably have
The
to be
world
the
has
last one. Then we're gonna
become
wrap up.
the world has become infested with rabid dogs with the intelligence of a 5-year-old. Where do you hold up to survive the apocalypse?
What?
I didn't stutter.
Uh,
Actually, I did.
I'm stuttering right now. I'm
The world has become infested with rabid dogs with the intelligence of a 5-year-old. Where do you go to survive?
don't. First of all, isn't like the intelligence of a 5-year-old like probably an accurate metric of the intelligence of a rabid dog to begin with?
No,
Like,
5-year-olds are like toddlers.
yeah, but like dogs are also dumb. Like what?
Yeah, but 5-year-olds can talk.
No, they can't. 5-year-olds can talk.
Dude, where have you been?
I don't know how old you have to be before you start being able to talk. So
Yeah,
so
dude,
you're
5-year-olds can
implying that they're
talk.
like sentient lesser beings? Is that
Yes.
part of the hypothetical?
Mhm.
But they're rabid, which would is the intelligence of a
Okay,
5-year-old factored in
5-year-olds with rabies.
post or pre the 5-year-old intelligence label? Because if it's
They have
pre,
rabies but are still intelligent.
that's like an oxymoron though, because rabies makes you go crazy though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you could be like very extremely unwise and crazy and have neuron activation at 100% of the time, but like also be able to like
I don't know,
maybe
man. Like my
communicate.
house, where else am I gonna go? The local anti-rabies dog and 5-year-old toddler bunker? Like the
I'd probably build an island maybe and get a bunch of people or maybe big like a
can they
build like a
open
really
doors? Can they unlock doors?
I
Can
mean
they
maybe
form? Can they form? Do they have like tactics bonuses? Like I don't know, man. Uh,
I don't know. I mean
child locks.
child locks. Um it's like I'm studying 5-year-olds right now actually.
Okay. The
Um
last time I
developmental
interacted,
psych.
the last time I
So
interacted with a kid was when I was like emergency subbing music lessons,
Okay.
and I was teaching like 10-year-olds, and like they
Mhm.
are, they're quite. You forget how much you know because you have been on this earth for a while.
Yeah,
10-year-olds are like not the wisest beings.
I wouldn't
So like
imagine.
cutting their age in half again and then proposing that they're a threat is like honestly not too intimidating. I'm not very intimidated by your
I
hypothetical.
mean, like
I would do
they
nothing.
have
That is my final
object
answer.
permanence. Like they got over that, and they can like they're at the point where they can tell like if you like say like you can't play peekaboo with them anymore.
Yeah, they literally like cannot do math.
I
They
mean,
just learn their addition tables. Like I'm not
yeah.
afraid. I'm smart. I know my multiplication tables
Yeah,
and
but
my.
they're also rabid dogs. They'll hit you with like the rabid dog virus that turns you into a
But
fighter.
we've spent too long on this.
Okay.
Let's wrap up. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, we're wrapping it up.
Oh. Oh. Well, um, thank you for tuning in to this week's
You're welcome.
podcast.
That was towards the audience. You're welcome anyway.
Thank you, Dominic.
Yes, thank you.
Um, I hope you get something out of this. Like I probably mentioned in intermission, this is gonna be a bit regular now. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. If you have any recommendations for what we should be doing, if you want us to talk about something, if you want us to rank a tier list, if you want us to do something silly, throw it in the combats down below. The combats fight each other.
This happened once before.
This is not the first time we've done this. Oh man.
Fight about it below.
As always, fight about it in the combat below, and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you guys. Bye bye.
Very cool. Bye-bye.